Today on Dr. Phil.
They caught their mom sexting during a family vacation. I like to make a grown man moan. Did you write those things?
I didn't want to mess up my marriage. I just wanted to go have a good time.
Is mom leading an X-rated secret life?
You go meet a guy in a parking lot?
I never had sex with him.
You just thought you could hide what you were doing and that you'd never get caught.
It's none of your business.
I would guess it is your husband's business. Well, it all started with a text response and 4 little letters. LOL, K. On the surface, it sounds pretty harmless, but those 4 small letters set off a spark of suspicion, which later led to questions of prostitution and defensive responses like these. I never had sex for money. I hid it from my children. Then there were secret email accounts, internet ads soliciting sex and bragging about it on text afterwards. Over 30 guys in 6 straight hours. It was crazy. Plus hundreds of investigative texts and emails like these full of questionable behavior and all obtained without the person's knowledge. At the center of this drama, a seemingly ordinary-looking suburban housewife and mother of 6. And heading up the investigation into her questionable behavior, her very own daughters.
My mother, Kimberly, is such a liar that I don't even know who she is anymore.
My mother is a psychotic manipulator.
My mother has been caught having disgusting sex with random men off the internet.
I refuse to be around my mother. I will not allow my child to be around my mother.
I don't call her mom, I call her Kim.
Well, Kimberly says her daughter's accusations are based on half-truths, misinformation, and mean motives.
My daughters have done so many hurtful things to me. They've accused me of having an affair on my husband. They've accused me of solicitation for prostitution. They've accused me of taking my granddaughter out in public to meet strangers. And all these accusations are completely crazy and based on drama. I truly feel like if anyone is to blame for this family being so torn apart, it is Jackie and Brandy.
Well, Kimberly's daughters say they don't know what to believe ever since they caught their mom sexting during a family vacation.
I found the very first text message on my mom's phone from a guy that was asking her to find a vacant home that they could in, and her reply back was, LOL, okay.
When I saw that text message, I was immediately disgusted.
The text message was found on December 2nd. We went on our cruise on January 10th.
Paid almost $10,000 for that cruise, 11 people. I'm pissed that Jackie and Brandy knew something was going on before they went on the cruise, and they went on it anyway.
During our family cruise, my sister Hannah discovered several nude photos, both sent to my mom and photos that my mom sent of herself to multiple men.
I was disgusted, I was mad, I was angry. It's not something you want to think that your mother would do.
After the family cruise, we came home and Hannah got on the desktop computer.
Hannah found multiple ads that my mom had posted. Hannah found an email of my mom prostituting herself out for motorcycles.
And it says, this is what I need, $3,000 to purchase a new or used bike, or if you're willing, just to get me a new one around $5,000 or less. Hannah also found several text messages to mass amounts of different men to the point that it was hard for her and I to even keep up with. I was furious.
Knowing what she did made me sick to my stomach, and I was disgusted she would do something like that.
Well, Kimberly's daughter, Brandy, is here. Now, another of her daughters, Jackie, really wanted to be here today, but is too pregnant to travel. So she's joining us via Polycom. So let me welcome Jackie. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Listen, you're part of this conversation, so speak right up at any time, just as though you were here. Okay. Now, Kimberly, let me start with you. You're a mother of 6.
Yes. 4 girls, 2 boys.
Suburban mom.
Yeah.
You still have 3 at home, right?
Yeah, technically.
Okay, well,
Hannah
2 and a
lives at
half.
home. Yeah.
One's kind of in and out, and the other 2 are underage, and they're at home.
Right.
Okay, and then you've got these other daughters that kind of happened onto something on your phone.
Right.
Right? And it was on your phone.
Yes.
It wasn't spam. That was you.
It was me
You were on the phone.
Yeah.
And what was it that was found on the phone to start with?
A text message from a guy saying, I want you to find a vacant home that we can in. And my mom's response was, LOL, okay.
Okay, that was the LOLK.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, laugh out loud, okay.
Because that's what I tell all of them when they ask me for that.
All of them?
Oh, yeah.
And them would be?
Anytime you're, I'm a real estate agent, and you get offers and questions like that all the time, and every time I say, yeah, sure, whatever.
Really? Because I've bought and sold a lot of homes, and I never brought that up to a damn one of my agents. Have you met some of them and done that?
No, never.
No, you don't do that.
No,
That's
never.
I'm sorry?
I said that's a lie.
How do you know that? Have you seen this? Have you looked through the window and went,
I have
whoa?
not. No, I did not look it through the window, but all of the text messages, and as a professional, why would you let somebody you're selling a house to write you a text message like that, and even responding to it is disgusting. Like,
okay, so here's the thing. You believe that your mother is on the internet, going on to these sites, meeting up with men, and having sex for money.
Yep, no doubt in my mind.
So you're basically telling me my mom's a hooker.
Yep.
And Jackie, you agree?
Yeah. I don't think that everything has been for money, but I do believe that she has been meeting up with men.
I have to admit, I am the most non-judgmental person I've ever met. I mean, there may be others, but I'm kind of live and let live. Whatever you want to do, whatever floats your boat. I mean,
It's none of their damn business.
Well, I would guess it is your husband's business.
Right,
I would think he would certainly have a stake.
Right. There's two people I have to answer to, him and God.
And he couldn't come, but he couldn't come because he couldn't hear the truth. That's what's the problem.
Yeah, where is he?
He chose not to come.
Why?
He's so embarrassed by their actions, he will not come.
He's embarrassed by their actions.
Their actions. This was a family matter.
It's okay with yours?
This was a family matter that went between me and my husband, and they have taken it to their friends. I mean, here we are, Dr. Phill.
You chose to come, though. You chose
matter.
to come.
Well, don't say that like something smells bad. She goes, here we are, Dr. Phill.
She said she would do anything to fix the family.
I did. I said I would do anything and go anywhere to fix it. So here I am.
Here she is. So.
Well, so let's see what this is based on, because I want to see what we can agree with. I mean, you don't know what my opinion about this is going to be, but you're not going to have to guess at it when we're through. I can promise you that. These are things that were found on Kimberly's computer. I'm for real. I love to blank blank. And I can't say it or FCC would have my hide, but you're describing a sex act there, right? I like to make a grown man moan, or at least give it my best try, smiley face. I can't tonight. Are you open tomorrow night? I can send a face pic after you send one first. I'm married and not looking to mess that up. Now, did you write those things?
Yes.
You wrote those things?
Yeah, sure did. On my private computer in my private home in my private office. Sure did.
And you are married?
Yes, I'm married. 23 years.
Well, what was your intent?
Excitement and fun.
Okay, but you were wanting to meet up with somebody.
At a time, yeah.
You were busy that night. Did you meet with him the next night?
No, I never got a chance to.
You told your girls, come on, this is all fantasy. This isn't for real.
Actually, it was. I was
We're
part
just
of a
kinda
fantasy
going back.
chat circle.
No, wait a minute. You can't tell it both ways. You said this was all just fantasy, but to them, then when I asked you, you said, yes, I wrote that. And
No,
I said, you were wanting to meet him. Well, yeah, but I was busy.
No, there's two separate incidents. Yes, I was part of a fantasy chat circle where it's no hands-on sex, where you chat and talk about it and stuff like that. And then there was times that I wanted to go meet somebody different and get out of my marriage. I have 6 kids. I've been married since I was 16 years old when I had Jacqueline. Heck yeah, I was out looking for something.
But your email says you didn't want to mess up your marriage. So if that's you're contradicting yourself.
I'm not contradicting myself. I didn't want to mess up my marriage. I just wanted to go have a good time.
Well, okay, hold that thought. I wanted to go have a good time. Now, there's actually a dirt bike involved in all of this.
Yes.
And you're going to find out how after the break. These daughters admit to raiding Kimberly's email and sneaking into her phone, but they didn't stop there. You're going to see just how far they took their investigation when we come back.
My sister Hannah and I created an internet ad. So I pretended to be my mom and recorded a phone conversation with one man who actually sent us a picture of her face and his private parts.
I want you to tell me what you can do for me.
You want me to change the serial and tell you that?
And later...
How embarrassing it is to tell everyone that my mom was prostituting herself out. Like, who would I want to know that?
Well,
Friends know?
apparently
Because that's why-
everybody in the United States and 57 foreign countries, because you're here.
My mom, Kimberly, claims that she has only ever had mental affairs.
It took my mom 3 days to come up with an excuse that this was all fantasized and it was just a fantasy chat room site.
Here's another one who said, "Is that the craziest thing you've ever done sexually?" And mom says, "I would say yes. Over 30 guys for 6 straight hours, and it was crazy." Every time that we've confronted her, she claims nothing was actually reality. I think that she's full of crap.
I do believe that my mother is a pathological liar.
Well, Jackie and Brandy refuse to call their mother anything but Kimberly because they believe she's leading a secret sex life as a prostitute. As a result, they will no longer allow her around their children. Kimberly swears she is not having sex for money, but her daughter's suspicions led them to take their spying to a whole new level.
My dad said he needed a smoking gun in order to prove that my mom was sleeping around with strange men. My sister Hannah and I went in together and created an internet ad saying that Kimberly, the new girl, is back and she's looking to get her original group of people back together. Please respond with what she looks like, how you know her, and when you met up with her. One man actually sent us a picture of her face and a picture of his private parts. He said that she drove a silver van and described that she had big curly blonde hair. So I then pretended to be her and recorded a phone conversation with this man.
I want you to tell me what you can do for me. You know, what you did last time compared to what you're going to do this time.
You want me to change the serial and tell you that?
You can tell me now.
When my mom heard the recording, she denied it all immediately, of course, and said that I must have hired someone to actually put on this act. And then after I told her how stupid she sounded, she claimed it must have been one of our friends or someone we knew. I feel like every time Kimberly opens her mouth, another lie comes out.
Okay, look, here's the deal. You've got to be willing to tell the truth, because if you come in and tell me half a truth or a lie or no truth, then we don't get anywhere.
Right.
You've got to be willing to just come clean. I mean, hell, they can kill you, but they can't eat you,
know what?
right?
The
I mean,
truth
what?
isn't, they don't want the truth. When I've said the truth over and over, it's not that elaborate. So
no,
we've got
that's
to
not the
embellish
truth.
and make it more and more.
But what
like
is the
I
truth?
get paid for sex and
You've
crap
said
like that.
so many stories. That's the problem. There's so many stories, you don't even know what to believe.
You tell them the
Okay,
truth and
so
they go, "You're lying."
Tell me the truth. I want to know. You don't know. Maybe I can talk him into it. Hell, you give me enough time, I can get a rabbit to hug a hound. If you just give me time, what is it? What is the truth?
I was bored to death. You know, the husband works all the time, never comes home. He goes out in the garage. I don't see him. 23 years of the same boring crap. That's the truth. I looked for some excitement. I go out there. I tried to go and meet people. I couldn't do it. No. Not going to lie to you.
Okay, wait a minute.
That's a whole other thing. Which story do you want? I went on a fantasy chat live.
What story?
Fantasy chat thing. It's no hands-off sex. You just talk about it, you chat, whatever. So I thought that's a good way to do it. Then I don't have to have sex with somebody and screw up the whole thing, right? So that's what I did.
But you didn't stop there,
no,
right?
No, I didn't stop there.
You did meet men.
I met 3 men, yeah.
And you did have sex?
No, I never had sex with them. One guy I met, and he was about 400 pounds and not at all what his picture said. Jumped back in my little silver van and took off. The second guy I met at a parking lot, and he was even more disgusting than the first guy I met. And the third guy, swear to God, the third guy didn't even have teeth. So after I went through all that drama and all that, trying to hook up, right? I decided
Who are you talking to?
Stupid this is.
Who are you talking to? You're not running for election. Talk to me. Look at me. Talk to me here.
So
Hold
that's
on.
the truth.
The point is, you just said, I went and met 3 men who were disgusting.
Yeah.
I can't imagine why. All you know about them is that they have a computer. And you go meet a guy in a parking lot?
I did. I know. How stupid is that?
Get raped and killed.
It's very stupid. It is incredibly stupid. Sorry, Jackie, what do you want to say?
I just wanted to know, so what about the 26-year-old you had lunch the day before your family cruise?
Yep.
I never had lunch
Was
with
he
him.
disgusting?
Yeah,
I never had lunch with anybody the day before.
We have text messages.
And that you're there.
They have a
text. Is that fantasized?
My daughters have a text message that say, be there in an hour, we'll only have an hour,
Are you serious?
and then I'm leaving.
What are you talking about? You
bring it up.
You
Where's
have
it at?
lied so much.
86th
You
Street.
can't even look me in the face and tell me these lies. You have lied so much. You don't even know what you're saying. There is something wrong with you. You're living a whole nother life.
Really?
There's something wrong with you.
Really?
Yes, there is something wrong with you.
See, I'm not...
They want that to be because that sounds so much more exciting than mom not
Do you
doing
think I would
what
go
I
on
did.
national TV and tell everybody what you've done? No.
You already have,
But
sweetheart.
Yeah,
You've
because
called and
I'm
told everybody.
I'm hoping Dr. Phill can get you to realize that you have destroyed this family, not Jackie and I have destroyed this family.
I
You
want
have
the
destroyed
truth. And they're saying they have text messages where you say, okay, I'm going to meet you at this house. All right, I'm getting off the exit. I only have an hour.
Hotel confirmation numbers.
The only hotel I've been to, sir, in the longest time was in March when I went to a mom's conference.
Well, ma'am, that's not true.
They probably do have my hotel confirmations for March.
They didn't say. You said you got hotel rooms to set up to do web chats.
No, I didn't. I don't.
You didn't do that.
No, I didn't. No, not once. I never told them that, and I've
Yes,
never
you
been
did.
to a hotel
Yes, you
because
did.
I didn't set them
When we
up.
asked you about the hotel confirmation numbers, you said, "Well, they send me to a hotel, and that's when I set up my camera, and that's when
I have a camera. I don't even own a camera.
And they're in
let alone know how to
and you
use
said,
a video
and they're in a
camera.
different hotel." And I said, "Well, why would you do that in a
all right,
hotel?"
stop.
I got fired from the circle because I don't know how to use my webcam.
Somebody is lying to me.
Right.
Did you tell them that these hotel room confirmation numbers are for rooms I got to participate in the sex chat room? I wasn't meeting anybody there. They were just to participate in the sex chat room.
I don't even have a hotel confirmation to know
Okay.
what they're talking about.
So are you lying, or did she tell you that?
She's a liar.
Even if I'm guilty of all of that, if I'm not every Tom, Dick, and Harry, it's
then you
none of
won't
your
have a
business.
family. Then you won't have a family.
Jackie, what about these hotel confirmations?
Yeah, she did admit to going to a hotel room. She didn't have any sexual acts. She claims that she talked to them about sex. You told that to us.
Okay, Dr. Phill, here's the truth. They, during the circle chat thing, the guy goes to the hotel room. Not me. I was not there. I was at home in my own house, in my computer.
Okay, go on.
In my office, okay?
So you're saying that you were at home logged on to a chat room.
Yeah, watching.
Where guys were in a hotel room.
And girls.
Engaged in sexual activity.
Yes.
Yeah.
You just thought you could hide what you were doing and that you'd never get caught.
Okay, I'm going to get an answer to this because when people lie to me, I stop talking and move on to the next story. Now, somebody is lying here, and I want the truth. You either said that these were hotel confirmations that you did not use for sex, just for fantasy, or you didn't. Now, either you're lying and Jackie's lying, or you're lying.
Where's these confirmations that we supposedly have? Because I don't have
I
any
didn't ask you to show them to me.
Our father asked us to delete, or actually, he handed us the emails that we all had printed out, 3 copies. Your husband asked us to destroy them.
So true, it's
Your
not.
husband asked us to destroy them. He has the only copy left, and he refused to give it to us because he didn't want you to look like an idiot on TV, but you already do. You already do.
Look, sweetheart.
Like, he doesn't want to believe
what I
the truth.
did was not at all any of this and deserves any of this.
Yes, it does.
And even if
Yes,
I
it
did,
does.
even if I'm guilty of all of that, even if I'm guilty of every single thing they want me to be guilty of,
What the hell's it got to do with them?
My children. You want to see my child. You want to see her children. That's not going to happen.
Hold
That's
on. Is your point that you think that your mother is going to take your child to a sexual assignation with some guy with no teeth in the parking lot?
No.
Yeah, right.
My fear
is that a real fear on your part?
No, my fear is he knows your van. How do I know you're not a drug dealer? How do I know you don't owe people thousands of dollars? What if you had my kid in your car? Did people know what car you drive? How do I know they didn't come to attack
Pretty
you
sure
or
Ford
rape you?
sold
I
a
have
lot
no
of
idea.
big silver vans.
Do I think
With
you
dirt
would?
bike stickers
Do I
on
think
the
you would take my kid to something like that? No, but how do I know a guy's not going to come after you? How do I know that at the safety of my child? And I wouldn't. You're a stranger to me, Mom.
Did you get hotel rooms?
No, never, not once.
What were the confirmation numbers for?
I don't know that there are any. I think they're lying. Matter of fact, I know they're lying because there aren't any.
So you don't have any proof?
No, we did, but Dad asked us to destroy it.
Oh, well, let's talk about this dirt bike for a second here.
Yeah, let's talk about
because
that.
there's an interesting email about that. You put an ad, right?
No, it didn't get put on there.
Yes, it did. Are you kidding me? It was on the internet. People responded.
I wrote it in paper. I thought about it.
No, you did not.
On paper, it was on your computer.
It was on an email that people responded to.
They found it on your computer.
Right.
So it's just sitting up on the computer, like we typed it
This
out.
is my problem. I'm admitting that I did this, so what's wrong with that?
No, you
Well,
just
I'll
said
get
you
to
wrote
that
it.
in a minute. I'm just trying to find out where the bottom is here.
Then
here's
what?
Here's what this said. This ad, and you say you didn't post it. They say you did. It said, quote, I need $3,000 to purchase a new used bike or a new one around $5,000, a new helmet and boots. To avoid this being a prostitute transaction, yes, I know the law, money must exchange hands for sexual favors. I Googled it. I would rather money go to the cause. So any money can be given directly to my choice of shops, and they will hold a credit for me. It's not all about sex unless you need it to be. I will not pay for a room. That's your job. Kimberly.
Right.
Did you post that?
I wrote it, yes.
Did you post it?
No, I didn't post
You
it.
didn't post it.
You
Well,
posted on the internet with a
I didn't post it. My friend posted
Craigslist.
it for me.
let me look at this picture
Because I didn't
here.
know how to post it.
Well, I see this thing where it says, I need $3,000 or $5,000 for a dirt bike. Then shortly after, I'm looking at a picture of a dirt bike.
No, I bought 3. I bought 3 dirt bikes that year, and I sold 5 houses. Call and ask them. Your people already did verify that.
Did your friend post that ad?
Yeah, my friend did it for me. Yeah.
So it did get posted.
Because I didn't know how to do it.
But it did get posted.
Yeah, it did get posted.
Because a few minutes ago you said it never got posted.
You said you posted it. I didn't post it. I wrote it. And I said I didn't write it. I said I didn't post it. I wrote it.
See, now. Okay.
Yeah, I want to know
I didn't post it. I don't know how to.
You're killing yourself now because, lady, that is a distinction without a difference.
I want to know who this friend is. Because
It's none of your business.
Again, if my kid is with her and she's
None of
hanging
your
out with her
business.
friends that are letting her prostitute herself.
Okay.
Again, it's still none of your business. You are 24 years old. You
Yes,
live in
it
your
is.
own home. You have your own kids.
If you want
It's
me
none
in your
of your
life,
business.
if you want me
If I'm
in your
not
life,
every Tom, Dick, and Harry,
then
it's
you
none of your
won't have a
business.
family. Then you won't have a family.
It's none of your business.
Okay, well, if
keep
you want to
doing
live
that.
without your children, that's on
your
you.
choice.
Coming up, Kimberly says she doesn't think her daughters have been working alone. She thinks someone else is out to get her. We're going to find out who that is when we come back.
Kim has cheated on her husband. The most shocking part was that she didn't care, and she did it in front of her daughter's best friend. When I saw Kimberly in the back of that van, I thought there's no way this is happening.
My mom's always been very flirtatious our whole lives.
I smile all the time, so.
My mom is pretty busty and curvy. Her boobs are always hanging out in all of her outfits. I don't think she owns one thing that her boobs don't hang out in.
I've always seen my mom as flirtatious with other men, but I never thought she would take it to the level she's taken it to.
Well, Kimberly's daughters say their mom is constantly flirting, but they are also convinced it's way more than that. Even the family hairdresser, why am I not shocked, is weighing in. Take a look.
Emily is probably the biggest drama queen and pot stirrer of all of our town. She tops the list.
I know for a fact Kim has cheated on her husband. The most shocking part was that she didn't care, and she did it in front of her daughter's best friend.
Almost 2 years ago, I went to a concert with Emily. Came home, everything was fine. A year later, Emily has all these accusations that I was doing something at this concert with men.
Kim and I left the concert alone in her van. We did get drunk and we had a good time. Kimberly invited 2 guys into the van.
Girlfriend, those guys were all over me. I may be fat, but they were all over me.
When I saw Kimberly in the back of that van, I just thought there's no way this is happening. I saw Kimberly commit adultery.
It's totally impossible for any of her accusations to be true. I had too many people around me, my daughter, my nephew. Emily does claim I was too drunk to remember, but I'm the one that drove us there and drove us home. Emily makes up these lies because she's bored, needs a hobby.
Look, I'm here with Kimberly. She is the mom. 6 children, actually. A few of them are here. Jackie on Polycom. I have Brandy here. We've just added Emily. Emily is a family friend. She's a family hairdresser. And you say that this isn't just fantasy because you've actually seen her out engaged in sexual activity.
She's supposed to be my best friend, my daughter's best friend. So I'm supposedly have done this in front of you, my daughter's best friend, right?
Right.
Crazy and correct.
Big concert. Everybody's stacked, getting out of the parking lot.
Can we clarify that she's drunk, right?
Yes.
Supposed to be, but she remembers all this,
but
right?
you're not.
Right, I'm not drunk, right?
You're not drunk?
You
So
admitted that you drove home drunk to me. Oh my!
I was not drunk, so drunk that we got home. I
So
was
you
the
were
one
kind of
driving.
drunk.
I was the one driving.
So you were kind of
I had
drunk.
2 of those Limerita things. Not drunk
Moving
enough
on.
to do what she says she saw me do. Keep going, Emily. Tell everybody
Okay,
what
so you
saw
pick
me
these
do.
2 guys up and actually pull out of traffic into a field. So you look over your shoulder. She's in the back seat with a guy, and what's happening?
Yeah, what's happening?
Sexual act, and I got out of the van.
My daughter's there, my nephew's there, but I'm doing what in my van?
Okay, one of the things that I always worry about is when people spend a lot of time focusing on irrelevant details to deflect from the matter at hand. And you keep telling me that there were family members there.
Yeah,
Were
it's
they
not like
in
they weren't right
Were
there.
they in the van with you?
No, they could have walked up. They were right, like my van was here and they were right over here. They could have walked up at any moment.
They were not even close to our van.
Emily, you are just so full of shit. It ain't
No,
funny.
no.
National TV now knows that you're such a big liar.
Jackie, you guys get back from this cruise and call Emily and say, here's what we found out about my mother. Do you know anything?
Often people confess things to their hairdresser. So, do you know of anything that's been going on with my mom lately, or anything that's happened? Because she's been having affairs, but
Yeah.
Emily wouldn't tell me exactly what she saw.
Okay, and then y'all don't want her to be around your kids, and you say she's so psycho that she went and borrowed some kids from one of your other friends so she could demonstrate that she was capable of taking care of children, right?
I did.
You sure did.
And so you told that person what was going on. They shouldn't have their... Is there anybody y'all didn't tell?
How embarrassing it is to tell everyone that my mom was prostituting herself out. Like, who would I want to know that? My close friends
Well,
know, because that's
apparently
why-
everybody in the United States and 57 foreign countries, because you're here.
Well, now they do.
Yeah, now.
Wow, okay. Are Jackie and Brandy creating drama because they have nothing better to do? Well, there's another sister here who says, yeah, actually, they are. We'll hear why next.
I know, and she walked out.
She helped.
Jackie and Brandy are 2 bored housewives.
No, she's the cornfield. She's so dumb.
My sisters definitely keep up a soap opera about the family. My family's always the first conversation that they have. Everything is always about my mom. I believe if Jackie and Brandy did drop all the drama, it could help in healing the family. I want my mom to realize that her cheating and hurting my dad did end up basically cheating and hurting us as the kids. Even though it's her business, it's definitely a family problem. Mainly it hurt me so much because my dad means so much to me.
Well, Kimberly says what goes on in her marriage is her own business. But her daughters say that their mom's risky behavior is family business. There is another sister here, Hannah. Hannah, thank you for coming out and joining us. Is this being overblown?
Well, I think it is being overblown. I think it's time to just let it go.
Making too big a flap about it?
Yes.
Do you think that you have crossed any boundaries, any lines, gotten out of your lane and gotten up in somebody else's business that's not yours?
No, I do not.
Okay, gotcha. Jackie, how about you?
Nope.
There was a particular quote that kind of stuck out at me. I don't need to associate with someone that takes my mom's word over my own. Is that y'all's opinion?
That I shouldn't associate with anyone that takes my word.
If somebody disagrees with y'all about what she's doing or her right to do it, do you think they're just wrong?
No, that's their decision.
Yeah, that's their decision.
But it doesn't mean I need a relationship with them.
But the problem is there's obviously two sides of the story, and they're only getting one side of the story. And they come and attack us with one side of the story, and we can't say our side of the story. They've already heard it.
There's one story, and that story would be my story.
What do you mean you can't say your side of the story? I can't find anybody you haven't told your side of the story to.
All of her friends that harass me on Facebook and text messages, I don't talk to them. I get saying karma is coming back to my son because I don't let you see my son, and the reason why my son is having problems and is in pain is because of karma coming back to me. I don't associate with those people.
I didn't ask these people to write.
I don't care. Those are your best friends.
It doesn't matter.
Those are your best friends.
Control what people write.
You can only control what you say to them, and they have so much hate for me.
They said that to anybody.
Your husband knows the whole story. You said that too.
Yes, he does.
Okay. Well, you just said nobody knew, so that was another one of your lies.
They were concerned because when it came time, like you took everybody on a cruise in January.
Yeah, and they all knew this was going on.
No, we found out on the cruise.
No, we didn't know anything was going on.
The cruise from hell.
You just said
no,
at the
you
beginning
knew
of this
about
that
it
you had
before.
a text
You
message
told
before
us you knew about it before the cruise.
No, I found one text message. No, the Craigslist ads, that all came after the cruise from Hannah.
Okay, but you just told the whole world that you knew this before you went.
No.
Let me talk.
Go, Jackie.
It's my turn. So on December 2nd, Brandy did find that text message. I said, Brandy, mom flirts all the time, whatever. It's not a big deal. I didn't even look into it. I didn't think anything of it. The only reason Hannah suspected stuff is because mom went to Sprint and had her phone get a password put on it. So on the cruise, Hannah was suspicious. Me and Brandy had no idea.
Next, I'm going to tell Jackie and Brandy if I think mom's business is any of their business. I'm going to declare executive privilege here, and I'm going to do a little talking. And our viewers are weighing in on this. I know you guys all have opinions as well. Tina M. Cummings at home says, these hens do too much pecking and not enough listening. They need to own their part in this mess. Love Being a Grana says, these daughters have way too much information about their mother's private life. Hashtag nosy daughters. At Fashion Swain says, Mom, you're putting yourself in danger by meeting strangers. Don't let your kids get a phone call. Hashtag nosy daughters. Look, I think you're lying about half of this.
It's your opinion.
Yeah, it is. I think you're lying about half of it. I don't think you need to lie about any of it. Lying, maybe that's too strong. I think you're spinning a lot of this. I'll put it that way. You don't have to answer to your daughters.
No, I don't.
I tell you, I got two sons. If they come over and start taking my inventory and tell me what I can do and can't do, it's going to be a short conversation. Not going to happen because that's just not how it works. And you can do what you want to do. And you don't owe them explanations.
That's the way I feel.
And if my parents ever referenced anything about their sex life, I threw up and then put my fingers in my ears. I didn't want to hear it. And I'm sure they don't want to know about all of this. How this is okay with your husband, even remotely, I don't know.
We both had issues in our marriage, and we both got to a point, but that's really none of their business.
Well, that's exactly my
So we're both guilty
point.
of certain things.
That's exactly
you know.
my point. The problem with kids opining on their parents' relationship is there's so much you don't know about what's going on in that relationship. There's so much you don't know, which works out okay because it isn't your business. It is not your business what your mother does. It is not your business. And if you want to hold your children hostage because you confabulate some theory that she's going to put them in harm's way with her behavior, then I think you're being histrionic and overdramatic. She certainly got you raised. She certainly got you raised. She certainly got you raised.
But
so
that's
you
my
don't
problem.
know what she was doing and when she was doing it. What I'm saying is you can set up this overdramatic sort of thing and hold your children hostage because it gives you power if you want to, but that's not going to serve your children well to carve their grandmother out of their lives. They pick up the tab for that.
Okay, well, can I have my opinion on this?
No.
Okay, well.
It's my turn. You've been talking the entire time. Just adult to adult, I am really concerned about your judgment and putting yourself in harm's way. If you meet people over the internet and then you go meet them in the real world, particularly somewhere private, like a parking lot in a car, that's just dumb.
Well, this was all in October of
I
last year.
don't
I
care.
got brains since then.
Okay, look, listen.
I found a friend that I could actually confide in and spoke to. And so
But Kimberly,
in October
listen,
of last year, I've gotten brains since then.
I do a lot of shows regarding the internet, and there are some weird cats
Really? I met
on
a
the
few, I
internet,
know.
and you don't want to be putting yourself in harm's way.
Right.
And if you're going out and meeting men,
I had nobody or nowhere to go, and now I do, and that has been a huge blessing.
What
that
I'm
this has
telling
all come
you-
out because it's been good.
well, I'm glad you consider it a blessing. What I'm telling you is this. You don't owe them an explanation, but you do owe yourself consideration. Do not degrade yourself by meeting men in parking lots. Do not degrade yourself by putting yourself out there. Do not disrespect your marriage and your family by turning away from your partner if you've got problems. Deal with that with him.
And
if that doesn't work out, then maybe it's time to shut that marriage down. That's another question for another day. But you won't find solutions by putting yourself in harm's way, degrading yourself, and who knows, their legitimate concern is that you cross a line and allow people to know where you are and where you live, and some crazy wacko comes over there while you're watching the children, and they are in harm's way. And that's where they do have a legitimate concern. You need to make sure they understand you get that and that you are not crossing those boundaries. You can get killed by dealing with these people on the internet, and you need to stop doing that.
That's why I did.
Straight out.
That's why I did.
Not because they judge you, but because you're putting yourself in harm's way. And do you agree with what I'm telling her?
I totally agree.
So I'm actually supporting a substantial part of your position, that if she blurs the boundaries, then family members, you, others, could be in harm's way. Don't do that, and don't.
October of last year. So
and
since
do
then,
not degrade yourself by meeting strange people in a parking lot. I promise you that won't give you what you're looking for. If you're bored, get a hobby.
I figured it out.
But your hobby is not your hobby is not meeting weirdos in a parking lot. Because some guy that will come meet a woman in a parking lot is not the quality
and if
man.
anybody's watching that wants to do that, don't do it.
Yeah,
it's not worth it. Don't do it.
Okay, save yourself before the world. Okay?
I did.
All
I
right.
gave it up.
We're out of time. I want to thank all of my guests today. If you're experiencing drama in your family or marriage, you can go to drphil.com for advice and hopefully some helpful resources. You have to respect people's right to be who they are, but that doesn't mean you can't tell them what you think. And I think everybody here knows what everybody else thinks. We'll see you next time.
Today on an all-new Dr. Phill.
I'm going to fill those 2 chairs right now with 2 scorned wives.
The mistresses and wives come face to face.
You're having an affair with a married man. I'm not proud of it. Why would you go do that to another woman?
You don't have the right to destroy somebody's family.
You sat there and said it's 50% the wife's fault.
It's 50% the husband, 50% the other woman.
And it gets personal.
Look her in the eye. You had a family, and because he wanted to be with somebody else, you're in the ditch.
My family was destroyed by the person I trusted the most in this world.
She has said she would do it again.
Then,
your husband is here.
The day he found all the emails, he let my little boy read them to know his mother was a whore.
A scorned husband weighs in.
You guys all sound like you're the victim. You're not the victim.
Are you still mad at her?
Definitely. I still can't trust her.
Why did you do it?
Because I thought I could get away with it. I didn't feel you loved me anymore.
That's an excuse.
It's lying. It's deceiving. The bottom line is, it's cheating.
And now, Inside the Mind of a Mistress continues.
Now, before I bring out the scorned wives who've been listening backstage, let's first find out what these mistresses would say to their married men's wives if they had a chance to meet them. Take a look.
If I was confronted by the married man's wife, I would give her examples of the things that he said to me, such as, I love you, I don't love my wife, I want to be with you, you are my dream.
If his wife was meeting his needs at home sexually, I really doubt that he would be in my bed when he is.
They're just there for the taking.
She's allowing him to just run him up.
What I wanted to say to the married man's wife was, obviously you're not taking care of him at home. You need to do what you got to do, or he wouldn't be looking. So wake up, smell the coffee.
In my particular situation, the wife is using the children as a buffer, and the intimacy level has dropped off considerably. And that would be like saying her withholding intimacy is not right.
Who are you to be grading some guy's wife's paper? Who are you to be passing judgment on her and what's going on? You don't know what happens behind closed doors.
You're right, I don't. And it's not my concern. After spending many, many months after my marriage fell apart, figuring it all out, I was 50% responsible for my marriage falling apart, and my husband was 50% responsible.
My married man's wife is the complete opposite of me. Complete opposite.
So is my married man. She's a lot older than him. I'm full life, bouncy. She's not.
Exactly.
I'm the total opposite. And I don't know if that's what attracted him to me.
Don't you worry that if he did leave and he went with you, and okay, now you've got 3 kids, so every other weekend they're coming, or you know, blah 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 blah, all of that going on, and now you're sharing time, space, energy, money, efforts, all of that. Then how many times do you think you go out and get in the back seat?
We probably wouldn't have
How many times do you think you would have that
to...
amazing kiss that just left you just tingling to your fingertips?
I understand.
That night you wanted to do it again when you got in the driveway, right? But somebody else was there.
Well, no, my phone was just blowing up, and it was my ex-husband wondering where I was at.
So you were ready to go again?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's been, definitely the sexual part of it, but it's been a lot emotional, too. But, yeah, and I know, and I've thought that through, that, and there are times whenever I felt like he's been close to leaving, although I know now, the pattern, the vicious cycle. I told my married man, I said, the only way I feel like you're ever going to do anything is if you get caught, she kicks you out, and then what am I? The consolation prize. Not going to be the consolation prize. But I'm letting myself be the side dish.
You think you're the only affair he's had?
He led me to believe that he had never been unfaithful ever in his marriage.
Are you the only one in...
Absolutely not. He told me how many affairs he had had. It still didn't register. It didn't register.
You think you're special, don't you? I do, too.
I did. I thought it was special, and I thought I was it. And even though he told me he had an affair for 10 years before that, and then a little brief one before that, and probably stragglers in between, but when you're in that moment, you don't think about that. You don't think about anything.
What do you think about it now that we're talking about it in the bright light of day? I mean, you're the current
That
affair.
I was a gullible son of a gun. That how I could lower myself to such a standard.
But she still went to a website looking for married men.
And not think good of myself, because I didn't.
And you've walked up on yours with a 21-year-old, right?
Yes, yes.
So you're under no delusion that you're it, right?
No, he's a playboy. You know, I'm sure he has several women. That's why I rarely see him at this point.
Did it bother you when you saw him with that 21-year-old?
It was more embarrassing because I had one of my best friends with me, and it was on Valentine's Day. So yeah, it was more embarrassing than anything.
Are you the only one?
I don't know.
You're Fridays.
Not every Friday.
But you're on Fridays. It's always Friday, right? So he could have a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, or Sunday. You don't know.
I don't know, but I think that he doesn't because he's very involved with his kids.
I'm going to fill those two chairs right now with two wives that have been cheated on by women like yourselves. They're not the wives of your married men, but they are wives of married men who have been through this, and I want to hear their point of view. They've got questions for you, they've got comments. You can ask questions and comments, so let's bring them out.
Coming up.
What do y'all think about what you've been watching?
You sat there and said it's 50% the wife's fault.
No, it's not. It's 50% the other woman's fault. It's 50% the husband, 50% the other woman.
If you know he's married, hey, you're married. You're off limits. Get back.
Tomorrow, the Dr. Phill family returns.
Was that your truck that was just pulling away?
No, it was not my truck.
This is Alexandra's truck parked in front of the meth house.
Did you go 68 days without seeing your children?
I'm not going to answer that.
It's a little hard to be self-righteous when you have 3 children, you have custody of none of them. I want you off the drugs. If you're not going to do this, I am done with you. Done.
Then on Friday, a mother accused of extreme neglect.
Your daughter drank bleach from a sippy cup. She's had a book bag with maggots and mold.
I'm being the best mom that I can be.
That's Friday. We now return to Inside the Mind of a Mistress.
I thought my husband and I had a wonderful marriage. We were very happy for 16 years of our marriage, and then she appeared.
I confronted my husband, and he denied it. Told me I was crazy, that there was nothing going on.
He explained to me that they would get in her car and they would have sex. To find out that he had this whole other life, this whole secret life, it sucked the life out of me.
If I had the opportunity to come across this woman that ruined my family, I would punch her dead in the face.
So let's bring them out. Let's add them to the mix here. Hi.
Hi.
Dr. Phill.
Sue. Nice to
Sue?
meet you. Hi. Dana.
Dana, how are you?
Good, how are you?
You guys have been watching the entire show, right?
Yep.
From monitors backstage. What do y'all think about what you've been watching? What you've been hearing?
I mean, you sat there and said it's 50% the wife's fault.
No, it's not. It's the other woman's fault.
It's
50% the husband, 50% the other woman.
Why would you go do that to another woman?
I didn't go do it to another woman.
No, but you're having an affair with a married man, right?
I realize that. I realize I'm doing that to another woman. I'm not proud of it.
If you know he's married, he's off limits, dude. Hey, you're married. You're off limits. Get back. Go away.
We had a great marriage, and he threw it all away over a 25-year-old girl who doesn't even speak English.
Well, and I've always worked with men. Always worked with men. I get along better with men than women, and I have never, ever thought about cheating on my husband.
Not every single marriage is a true, sacred, respectable on both ends. And this situation, no, what I'm saying is, some people have open marriages. So if a woman allows her husband.
His wife doesn't think she's in.
Well, if she, no, I think she's not naive.
But what makes if he has an open marriage or not? Do you want to be involved in that?
No, I don't. That's why I'm trying to,
then
that's why I'm trying to
walk away.
That's what
Just
I'm
walk
trying
away.
to
You
do
don't.
Right now.
Do you want to be the one that's screwing up their marriage?
I mean, of course not.
Now, you can dress it up with all the psychobabble you want. You can give it all of the spin that you want. But the bottom line is, it's cheating. It's cheating. It's lying. It's deceiving. And it's all because it makes you feel good at the time. It makes you feel good at the time. And there's so much immaturity to say, you know what? This isn't right, but I don't care because I'm selfish and this is about me and it feels good right now. So the hell with the kids, the hell with the wives, the hell with the husband. It feels good to me now. It's my turn. Screw them. I mean, you dress it up what you want, but I mean, bottom line, it's not quite as noble as we're all describing it here. What do you have to say to these women? These are women that, based on results, would cheat with your husbands.
When you first came on, I said, very pretty young girl. She obviously has it all together. And you started telling the story, and I said, she's being bought. She's being bought. And people who are bought that are women are considered hookers.
From your perspective, do you think, since I believe this is over between him and I, do you think, would you want to know, would you want a call from me to let her know what her...
I can guarantee you she knows. Yeah. I can guarantee you she knows. And she's gotten those emails. You said nobody knows. Baloney. I got news for you. Everybody knows. They're just not telling you. Mm-hmm. They know.
Do this for me. Just for me. Look her in the eye. Now, what was done to you? You're saying that you had a family, you had a husband, you had kids, and because he wanted to get, because he wanted to be with somebody else, now your whole family is financially disintegrating. You're in the ditch. Look at her and finish this sentence for me. You don't have the right.
You don't have the right to destroy somebody's family and somebody's life. I have wonderful, wonderful kids that I would die for. But I also feel like I'm dying because of what happened. Because my family was destroyed by the person I trusted the most in this world.
She has said she would do it again. She'll do another woman the same way you've been done.
Coming up.
All of you I see are making sort of excuses and lies. I'm not making excuses.
You're going to have to quit being a second fiddle to some guy that is blowing smoke up your and telling you what you want to hear.
And later.
Your husband is here.
Yes.
I want him to join us.
So why did you go do it?
I am so angry I can't see straight.
I told you I hated you, and I do hate you. Dr. Phill, I know I'm failing. It can't continue the way that it is.
Your daughter drank bleach from a sippy cup. She's had lice. She's had a book bag with maggots and mold.
I'm being the best mom that I can be.
I don't see that this baby gets any discipline. The baby is wild.
The baby is 16 months.
Gina is so determined to make her 16-year-old daughter a model that she has her doing chores in high heels.
This is her dream, but I'm motivating her.
You can't be serious. You bullied your cousin with Down syndrome and kicked her in the back?
She is disgusting. Have you seen her?
And for the first time ever on Dr. Phill.
The triple intervention on three brothers.
I understand that all you want to do is get out of this situation, but we're here to help.
I accept it.
There's nothing left to hold on to. Stand strong.
I don't want you in my life anymore.
Doesn't the legacy of anger have to stop?
This world will let you down.
Now, in talking to you, I realize I need to be a hero for my daughter.
You will pull through. You will pull through.
This is going to be a changing day in your life.
All this May on Dr. Phill. We now return to Inside the Mind of a Mistress.
There's tons of disadvantages of being a mistress. I won't be able to have children with him.
You can't even just pick up the phone and call them.
Society sees that as wrong,
and the judgment that goes along with that.
You see them in public, you can't walk up and grab their hand.
I won't grow old and die with him.
You hurt a lot of people that you never intended to hurt.
People just typically view mistresses as all being heartless, greedy vultures.
Every mistress gets caught.
This is Sarah Simons. You may have seen her on the show before. She is an author. She actually has a support group for mistresses. And can we refer to you as a former mistress?
Big time, especially with your help. I'm still very much former. No more married men for me ever again.
But that wasn't always your MO.
I know what goes on inside the mind of a mistress. Since my 20s and into my 30s, I was living as a mistress. I've had affairs with married men. Some of them were high profile, some of them were celebrities. When I found out that they were married, it didn't really bother me. I met a man who I fell completely in love with. He was very sweet to me. He made me feel so special. For such a busy guy, he always found so much time for me, and it was very intoxicating. He told me that he was unhappily married. He was planning to move out. He was sleeping in the spare room. It was a roller coaster ride for 2.5 years, and it absolutely crucified me how it ended. It was so awful. I wanted to take my own life. As the other woman, you're cast aside. It's almost like you don't matter. He's stringing you along and lying to you, and then when it comes to an end, it's like you didn't matter. You were just used by him. When I was lucky enough to come on the show previously, Dr. Phill said something and it really resonated with me.
I have said chapter and verse, the man that makes the decision to violate the covenant and tell lies, that does not give you a free pass.
Through being on the Dr. Phill show, I've really taken accountability for my actions. I had to help other women. I was compelled not only to have them live in the truth and realize that having an affair with a man who's married comes to nothing, but I didn't want them to go through the immense pain I was feeling. I'm determined not to let anybody treat me badly anymore.
How did it end for you in such an ugly way that you got your heart broken?
Because the man I was in love with, and I mean totally in love with, wanted a life with him, and he professed to want the same with me. He didn't tell me his true situation in the beginning, and during the course of our affair, which lasted for about 2.5 years, I stupidly watched him sort of move to another home with his wife and do all the things that married men do, and I kept making excuses for him, and I was manipulated, you know, I was living a very toxic life just to try and get through the times till I would see him again. He was a very intelligent man. He was a lot older than me. He didn't have to lie to me. He was a con man, really. And it took me to hit a wall of pain. And when I hit that wall of pain, I just knew I had to make some changes, or probably I wouldn't even be here today, quite frankly. It was that bad for me.
Why did you make the change?
And I realized I really was just helping him in his marriage, unwittingly. Because he would even say to me, Sarah, because of you, I'm able to be a better father and husband at home. And I was so far in denial at the time, I would think, you know, whilst I'm crying and drinking too much and just completely a mess, I would think, wow, I'm helping the man I love be a better father and husband. How cool is that? I never put my own thoughts first. I never put my own, what I wanted first. So I just went through this transient lifestyle, and now I'm 41 and I'm trying to have people, I want all women not to waste the same, you know, 11 or 12 years living this kind of life that I did.
You've been watching and seeing what's going on with these 4 women, having been in the same situation in one way or another. Every situation is different. Everything has a different element to it. Do these women need to get out?
Oh, my God. Run. Don't walk. Run. Get out, get out, get out. That's my message. Please get out.
I've said many, many times the difference between winners and losers is winners do things losers just don't want to do. Winners do things losers just don't have the energy, the commitment to get up and do. Because you got to make a decision. If I want what I want, I got to do what I have to do to get it. Now, if your marriage is dead and it's over, I'm sorry. I don't know if it is or it should be, or if you did what you needed to do to earn your right to get out of it. But if it's over and you ever want to have a fully functioning life again, then you're going to have to quit being a second fiddle to some guy that is blowing smoke up your and telling you what you want to hear and going home and telling her what she wants to hear. And that's exactly what Sarah's saying.
Exactly. And all of you, I see, are making sort of excuses and lies, not only for him, but for your own behaviour.
I'm not making excuses.
Just rots you to your core and you end up with nothing in the end.
Coming up.
Your husband is here.
Yes. The day he found all the emails, he let my little boy read them to know his mother was a whore.
You involved him in this. You used him.
I felt deceived, felt cheated. He thought I was going to kill her.
And later...
You guys all
and
sound
you know
like
what?
you're the victim.
You
You're
know
not
what?
the victim.
No,
Now you're all high and mighty because you left your first wife.
You're no better than anyone else.
We now return to Inside the Mind of a Mistress.
My wife had an affair. I felt deceived. I felt cheated. I felt used. Completely blindsided. I was checking my emails, and I clicked on my user screen, and up popped a screen name that I didn't recognize. It happened to be my wife's emails to her lover. When I read that email, I was very, very angry and upset and cried. I called her up. I told her I found out that you're having an affair. I said, you better come home and talk to me. She was scared to death. I didn't see her for 2 days. She thought I was going to kill her. Beth told me she had to see doctors. Come to find out that she wasn't doing that. She was actually going out on her rendezvous with her lover. She lied to me many, many, many times. I found out who the other man was by tricking my wife. She gave me the guy's name, went over there and talked to his wife and told him what was going on, and he came out and told me I had no right being there. My wife blamed me for breaking the two of them up. It was my fault that they didn't get a chance to say their goodbyes. What gives her the right to have a lover and say goodbye? You know, it's very hard to trust someone after what she did. We don't make love. We argue constantly. My heart's still broken. No way I can take another affair.
Your husband is here.
Yes.
I want him to join us. I want to talk to him in this group right now. Rich, Dr. Phill.
Nice to meet you.
How you doing?
Good.
Good to meet you. Have a seat.
Thank you.
Okay, I got a problem with this at many different levels, but we can talk about that in a minute to maybe kind of create a bit of a to-do list. Why are you still with her when she's done what she's done?
I still love her. She's my wife. I've been with her for 16 years, known her for 17 years. She's the mother of my child, and I still love her. And I still want this marriage to work.
You do want it to work?
Yes, I do.
Do you want it to work because she started slipping away, or do you want it to work because you really love her? Because sometimes men can be like a dog with a bone. It's like the bone can lay in the backyard and the dog doesn't even look at it till another dog comes in and pays attention to it, and now the dog's willing to fight to the death to protect that bone. Because she says that the fire had gone out in this marriage, that you spent so much time belittling her and putting her down that it didn't sound very loving. Did that change? Did you get a wake-up call by what she did, or is she just saying that to justify her bad choices?
That's an excuse. I don't know where the fire went to. If the fire went away, it's not just my fault. She's part of the marriage, too. Mm-hmm. If she had to go somewhere else and find something else, then it's a two-way street. You know, I don't know why she said the fire went out.
You cheated with her.
I cheated when I first met her. I was married for 22 years to my first wife, and I met her at my job, and we got to know each other, and we had an affair. But I left my first wife. I didn't stick around and have her as a mistress. I left my first wife because I was in love with her. Mm-hmm. So I got out of that marriage. I left a 13-year-old daughter that hated me for years after that. Mm-hmm. But she's come around now, and she understands what happened in my first marriage. Mm-hmm. But my son, I don't think, is ever going to understand what she did.
The day he found all the emails, he let my little boy read them to know his mother was a whore.
My son was standing behind me when I was sitting at the desk crying, reading the emails. Told him, I says, Mom's been seeing another man. And my son got very, very, very angry. He actually took my wife's clothes out of her closet and threw them down the stairs.
My husband had no right to tell our son about any of this. I've never despised a man more than I despised him after he did that to my son. I hate him.
Did you do the right thing in letting him read those emails and know what had happened here?
I don't know if it was the right thing or not, but I was angry at the time, and I wanted somebody to get back at her. So I said, you know, read the emails. Here's what your mother did. Your mother's been sleeping around with some guy.
So you said you were very prideful in that tape, it seemed to me, when you said that he was so upset that he threw her clothes out.
He was very, very angry.
And you were glad that he was?
I was glad. I was glad he threw her clothes down the stairs and threw her suitcase down there and told her not to come home. And he was angry. We were both angry.
I've been doing this a long time, and I have two rules that I really try to adhere to when dealing with kids, particularly in these kind of situations. Number one, you never ask a child to be involved in adult issues. And you never get a child involved in something over which they have absolutely no control. Because that is a helpless feeling for a child. And they are not equipped mentally, emotionally, physiologically, even neurologically, to deal with adult issues. They're not. And you victimized him. Both of you have. You victimized him by what you did and the bad choices you made.
Yes, I did.
And when you involved him in this, you used him.
Yeah.
You used him to bolster your feelings.
I used him to get back at her.
At her, and that's a terrible exploitation of a child. And you both owe this young man a sincere apology. You know, there are two different levels of issues in this situation. One is the infidelity. You have absolutely no credibility whatsoever. There's no justification for you going out and having an affair like this. It's just wrong. You may have very legitimate complaints about this guy on the marital front, but what you've done is an illegitimate response to what may be legitimate complaints. If you've got legitimate complaints with him, then deal with it.
That's what he had told me. If you would have just came and talked to me, if you would have told me how you felt, but the time that I did this, I didn't think he even loved me. I didn't even think he cared about me.
Well, that was then, this is now. I can't tell you.
And you never came and talked to me. Never came and talked to me. Never said a word.
Nope.
Are you still mad at her?
Definitely. Still angry. I still can't trust her. Well, I want to know why you went out and did it.
We got distant. We barely talk.
How do you answer that question? Let's just ask the question, why did you do it? Have you answered that question to him?
Because I didn't feel you loved me anymore.
That's an excuse. You went out because you had a lot of good times. You had fun. He could treat you nice. He took you places that I couldn't do that because I didn't have a job. I didn't have the money. So I couldn't do the things that he could do. He had a good job. He has a nice home. He can go places and hide it all. So why did you go do it?
Coming up.
I walk by my husband butt naked, and he doesn't even realize I'm walking by him, for Christ's sakes. I'm here in thongs and panties. Hello.
Plus.
This one's getting paid for whatever. I don't know.
I'm not getting paid.
You're getting
for
paid.
whatever.
You're getting paid.
We now return to Inside the Mind of a Mistress.
My wife had an affair. It's very hard to trust someone after what she did. My heart's still broken. No way I could take another affair. You went out because you had a lot of good times. You had fun. He could treat you nice. He took you places that I couldn't do that because I didn't have a job. I didn't have the money. So I couldn't do the things that he could do. He had a good job. He has a nice home. He can go places and hide it all. So why did you go do it?
I guess I thought I could get away with it.
She wanted to be married, but she wanted to have the single life. That's what she wanted. She wanted to have fun.
Which is usually the flip side, isn't it?
And you're all the same way. You all want to have fun. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for the excitement out there. This one's getting paid for whatever. I don't know.
I'm not getting paid.
You're getting
for
paid.
whatever.
You're getting paid.
Number one, I'm not married. I'm not married. Number one.
So what are you doing? The other guy is married, though.
That's his thing. That's what I just said to Dr. Phill when I first sat down. If you were listening, I'm trying to distance myself completely from that. I know it's wrong.
But you still take the money.
I have a conscience.
You still take the money.
If he wants to give it, I was taking the money. I still have my own money. The little he gives me, I make a lot more than that on my own.
My ex-husband did the same thing. Showed my 10-year-old son text messages, all that, just to totally.
Well, why did he show him? Because your ex-husband was angry. Because he was angry,
he's an idiot.
Because he found out about what you were doing.
Because he's an immature idiot, and that's why I divorced him.
Yeah. Well, that was like a spur-of-the-moment thing that I did that, and I'm sorry I did that.
That is completely.
You guys all
And
sound
you know
like you're
what?
the victims.
You know
You're not
what?
the victims.
No, you know what? My kids,
You sound like you're the victims.
It will not make them turn against me. It will make them turn against him. I can promise you, you will pay for that.
You did cheat on your first wife, though, you said. So you're no better than anyone else.
I left my first wife.
Okay, but you cheated on her before you left her.
I cheated on my first wife, and I left my
now
first
you're
wife.
okay.
So
now you're all high and mighty because you left your first wife for someone else. You know, ended up marrying your mistress.
Well, they're just saying you're no better than them. Don't judge them when you did the same things. What they're telling you, right? I mean, you admit that, right?
Yeah,
you did cheat.
I admit that.
What do you want to see happen in this?
I want my marriage to come back to where it was 3-4 years ago.
And you have every right to be hurt, but you don't have every right to be hurtful. Mm-hmm. And you've been hurtful to your son, and you're being hurtful to her now. You're not going to anger her back into this relationship. You're not going to intimidate her back into this relationship. Is there something you need to hear from her?
I just want to know how I can trust her again. I don't know how I can do that.
You can't trust her right now. You can't trust her.
No,
because she has been hurt in this, and she made a really bad decision. But it felt good in comparison to what she had at home. And as a result, it is tempting to think you want to do it again.
I want him to tell me, you know, that I'm his world, that he loves me, that he appreciates the things I do. He doesn't have to say it every day. Just acknowledge me. You know, there was a point in our marriage that I walked by my husband butt naked, and he doesn't even realize I'm walking by him, for Christ's sakes. You know, and it's like, hello, I'm here in thongs and panties, hello. And he didn't even acknowledge I was there. I just want to feel wanted, needed. That's what I want.
You understand that what you did to get that was wrong.
It is
right?
dead
Do
wrong.
you get that?
Yes, I do get that.
You understand that? And,
yes.
and you can go do that again, but you're just on self-destruct if you do.
I'm on meltdown if I do that again because I can't do that to my little boy.
If you want out of the marriage, you earn your way out of it, and you do that by turning over every stone looking for solutions. And you know when you're through, when you're ready to get divorced, when you have no unfinished emotional business. And you two have lots of unfinished emotional business. You're not ready to get a divorce yet. You haven't done the work. Do you miss him?
Yes, I do.
Have you ever told him that you miss the man that he was?
Yes, I have.
And what does he say?
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm the same person, but he's not. We used to have a good connection, and I don't know where it got lost.
Do you want it?
I want it. I want my family back.
Do you want it?
Yes, I do. And I want it with my son. I want us to be a family.
You're the one that made the bad choice.
Absolutely.
You're the one that ran this off in the ditch, okay? Mm-hmm. And you know how long you work on it?
Thank you.
You work on it until. You don't work on it a week. You don't work on it a month. You work on it until.
Till it's fixed.
You work on it until you get it out of the ditch and back up on the road. And you do that by becoming totally transparent. That's how you learn to trust her again, because at that point, you begin to build a new history. You didn't cheat on him yesterday. That's one day. You didn't cheat on him tomorrow. That's 2 days. Pretty soon you have a history that predicts a future that you can live with. And you have the integrity to say, Rich, I will never, ever cheat on you again. If I want out, I will come to you and tell you I want out, but I will not sneak out. I will walk out the front door with my head held high and everything in my hands, but I will not go out the back door to meet somebody else. You owe that to him. And you got to make a decision. Because of what she has done, that is not a license for you to be abusive with her. That is not a, and you can be verbally abusive, you can be physically abusive, you can be emotionally abusive. That is not a license for you to become abusive with her and cut her and belittle her and demean her at every turn. If you're going to do that, then you need to walk out the door. This is not a life sentence. People can kill people and not get a life sentence. Mm-hmm. I will get you some marital counseling that will help you reconstruct this on a day-to-day basis. I will provide that to you, and we will do that if you would like. You don't have to, but I'll make it available to you if you want to do it.
Yes, please.
What are you going to do with your man?
That's it. It's over.
You don't want this. You don't want what they're going through here.
But now it's making me wonder, if I did the right thing.
You need to call him and tell him it's done. You need to say, look, if you call me, let's be sure we're clear that we both know you're using me and you've put your interest ahead of my own. You got to put him on notice. You need to do it. You should call him from here before you leave. I'll give you your phone. I'll give you a place to sit, and you can call him. And leave here starting fresh.
I don't have his number because the phone number...
Of course you don't.
No, I'm telling you. He won't give me his cell phone number. It's the cell phone that I provided him so that he wouldn't get caught through his wife.
So now you're protecting him and helping him cheat.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
But, yeah, I'll call that number, and hopefully he'll get the voicemail.
You can at least leave the message.
Right.
You can at least leave the message. You don't have any intention of changing your relationship, do you?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I mean, this isn't what I want. I would like to have somebody. I don't want somebody full-time. I'm not ready to sacrifice my time with my kids right now, but I would like somebody that is mine.
Well, there's been a lot to talk about, a lot to think about here today. And I want to hear from y'all. I want to know what you've done with this. Don't you cheat yourself.
Right.
Don't do it. You're too good for that.
Next, find out what happened with the mistresses and their married men after the show. We now return to Inside the Mind of a Mistress.
I feel like we really drilled down today with the mistresses, but I wonder if after leaving my stage, anything really resonated with them. Let's see what happened once they left the studio.
When Dr. Phill said I'm better than that, I knew that, which is another reason why I've been putting that distance up with the married man.
Hi, it's my first day back from my Dr. Phill appearance, and it's been interesting. I did make a conscious decision to cut things off completely with my married man. So I did send him a text message. And I said, if you do care about what's best for me, then please let's permanently leave this alone so that I can be with a man who is fully available for me.
I know what my fault is. I know what it is. I know that I'm 100% responsible for my actions, and I understand that society and even me would say that my actions are wrong. I understand that, but I'm not a changed woman. I know that I'm either going to get my heart broken or I am going to find somebody that I want to give my time to. Right now, I haven't found him.
When Dr. Phill said that women that have affairs are selfish, only think about themselves and don't care about their kids, I can partially agree with that because I have put my children aside. When this affair started, I dropped them down a notch and put the married man above them. I feel that I've learned a lot since the Dr. Phill show, but I'm still stuck and haven't gotten completely to a point where I'm free of it.
I am excited to go from this day forward with my husband because when we walked off that set today, he looked at me like he hadn't looked at me in years. And I knew there was a little hope there that maybe we could make this work a little bit, that we'd both be on the same page going forward.
Hi, I'm just checking in. We've attended 4 counseling sessions, and we seem to be a lot better than we were before we were at the show. We're doing a lot of things together. We're talking, we're sharing. So things are looking up. It's a lot brighter picture than it was before we went on the show. So again, thank you. Thank you for all your help.
I want to thank all of my guests for being here today. If this topic strikes a chord with you or someone you know, I want to hear from you. You can go to drphill.com right now and tell me your story. And if you're watching today and you're a woman involved with a married man, you need to get out and get out now. I'm sure he's making you lots of promises, but trust me, you're probably being told exactly what you want to hear with no real future. And let's say he does leave his wife to be with you. Remember this, if he'll do it with you, he'll do it to you. I mean, come on, you don't want to be in a relationship that begins with deception, and every time you don't know where he is, every time you don't know what's going on, you're wondering, is he doing with someone else what he did with me? That is no way to live, and these relationships are doomed because they're based on a lack of trust. They're based on deception, and they are based on some fantasy that you know is not real. If you're in that situation, find the door. Get back to your life so you know that you have some future. We'll see you next time.
The main warning signs that a man might be married are things like him paying for dinners and drinks in cash. Look for things like him having 2 cell phones, meaning one number is just for his wife and one is for his secret life. Look for a mark on his wedding ring finger where perhaps he's wrenched it off just moments previously to talk to you at the bar or wherever you've met him. Note if he doesn't take your calls in the evening, or if you send him a text message and he doesn't get back to you, it's because he's at home with his family and can't answer. Note whether he calls you from places like the supermarket, the bathroom, the local store. These are places where he has escaped the family home to go out and call you his secret lover. If the man you are dating suddenly can't see you on the weekends and he refuses to make plans with you for more than a couple of days in advance, that means he's married. My main message to women out there who might fall for these things is to find a reason to go back to his place. If he won't take you home, there's a reason why.